How cool is this? It's our Basketball Bonanza. Cavino and Rich, Gary Streisky, SVP is here, and Dob, I know you got a bet for us.
I have a question.
All right. Okay.
Rich has been talking all day long about.
What's wrong with your voice?
Everything's wrong.
Very emotional today.
Are you all right?
Everything's wrong.
All right, what's the bet?
We're powering through. It's not a bet, but I know you're a big gambling guy. You enjoy sports betting. Rich has been talking about taking the over-under on a number of teams this year, today.
Yeah, I've been looking.
Curious where you're at on any of these guys that are going on.
Yeah, how are you doing today so far?
I'm an underdog guy, and it's been an underdog day. Like I mean, up until now, when people are getting crushed. But I mean, early on, I liked New Mexico State as a potential upset, a team that could pull off an upset.
I was thinking money line on that, but,
well,
but
they
did cover the 5.5.
The ball was in the air, and I mean, it's very nearly that would have been a catastrophic loss for Auburn. But I liked them. I like UC Irvine tomorrow against Kansas State. But I mean, as far as what happens today, there were a couple. I mean, we do bad beats on the show or whatever.
Oh my God.
Florida State, you enjoy?
Yeah, it hit me. It hit me hard, that one. Because you know why?
If they dunk it, they cover, but they didn't.
Your bad beat. The first thing I thought of, I was like, SVP is going to use this one. Because it wasn't like a dribble out situation. It was the exclamation point on the win.
Could have been.
Slam dunk or layup.
Could have been.
Instead.
But in theory, in terms of basketball karma, you're supposed to just let it go. I mean, but I get a kid in that moment, especially when you're in a building where it's like 85% Vermont fans and you've been hearing it all game, to just that one punch would have gotten them to the cover, would have got them to Cover Town and taken the ticket to the window. But I mean, look, there's our guy Stanford Steve and the Bear. They're out in Vegas. I mean, you see the videos of people like Yale hits a three late and they get the cover because of that. So I mean, I always like underdogs because the difference between most of these teams isn't that dramatic, and when you play in a venue where it's maybe it's half empty to start, shooting backgrounds aren't familiar. It's difficult. That's why people love unders in these tournaments, and I think underdogs are the way to go always, because there just aren't that many teams that are this much better than who they're playing against.
Speaking of underdogs, one more. Abilene Christian currently is down 13-39 to Kentucky.
Okay.
And Fairleigh Dickinson is down 17-53 by Gonzaga. Speaking of underdogs, which one loses by more?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to use math here, and you're telling me Gonzaga is currently up by 36.
Yeah. They are currently up by 36.
So I'm going to go ahead and say
36-26.
I picked Gonzaga to win. I picked Gonzaga to win the title. But I just have one thing: never ever say the smaller score before the first score.
Thank you for that.
Never ever. If you say 17-56, I just assume you've never watched a game in your life.
Yo,
okay.
Bigger score, smaller score. Isn't that like?
He's going to throw me under the bus. I think I've done that once in my life. Because I was
so fired up.
This is my biggest pet peeve. Yeah. He's done it, like, and I lose my mind. I was like, yo, what's the score of the football game? And he's like,
10-21.
He's like 10-21. I'm like, that is not how you read a sports score.
I think I read it that way. I don't often do that. But it happens.
I love you. I love you. I just don't want you to make that mistake with somebody that would really hold it against you.
Stop. Honestly, I'm not even sure.
Are you okay? I'm genuinely concerned about your health.
I just got back from Orlando. My little brother is down there. He works for a school. I think I just got 1 million germs from him.
All right. Lozenges.
No, the truth is he was yelling at us before.
The whole time.
Why are you heckling? Why are you heckling your guys?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we got pizza here.
What do we got?
They said pizza in his bag is down on his knee.
No. I'm not eating on camera.
Scott,
ask anybody that's watched me eat. It's such a horror show.
Really?
Nobody wants to see it. I'm like an animal.
After saying that, every wants to see it now.
Right,
Scott, see what you just did to yourself.
I'm not going to eat on camera.
Is there something interesting about it that we should know?
No, it's just too many. It's aggressive bites, because so many times, like, and you guys know this, when you're in if you've got a short break, and Russillo would just make fun of me every day because I'd have 2 minutes to down whatever I had, like an entire Chobani yogurt.
I respect it.
It's disgusting.
I remember those.
Yeah,
during our morning radio show, I eat a breakfast burrito in literally 2 minutes. It's how you have to operate the radio.
And so then when you have the luxury of time, you still are kind of wired to do that. And so, at least I do. So people try, they like avert your eyes if I'm in the room and eating. It's bad. So I'm not going to do it.
And speaking
out of
about limited time, you know, how much goes into your show? Obviously a lot, but I'm saying for behind the scenes, what time do you arrive? Like, how much time actually goes into that?
If we're on at midnight,
Yeah.
our meeting's at 5:30. So I think that probably surprises people because I guess they think you just show up at like 11 and read something that someone else wrote for you.
Yeah.
Well, we prepare everything that we do. Whatever we're talking about, I've written. So we meet from 5:30 to 6. Today was actually thrown off a little bit because the Maryland game was going on, and so I didn't get in until a little bit later. But I mean, today is just an all-highlight show. But we prep and meet from basically 5:30 until 6, whatever, to talk about all the stuff that's going on. And today is not a great example simply because it's such an easy show to do. It's just today is like literally this is the easiest job as the waiter. Here's the NCAA tournament. But on days when you've got to kind of create, you're trying to figure out what's interesting. How can we present this, especially at midnight, where maybe we're the last to get to the topic,
Right.
as opposed to are we going to do something where we might be able to be first to the topic, in other words, reacting to something that happens that evening. So it's fluid. Games dictate what we talk about, so we could have a game plan that's a game plan, and then at 11:30, if it all goes out the window, it all goes out the window,
So-
and that's what makes it fun.
But in between that and the show, like your meeting, right? Do you go home and watch the game? Like where do you watch the Maryland
No, we're
game, for
here.
example?
We're here. I mean, we got a tight knit group
Yeah.
that we've been together since the show started for a few years. We just go to the caf, grab a meal. People don't look at me while I eat, as we've discussed. We come back, and then literally, like, we got to set up not unlike this. We watch games throughout the night. I write what I need to write. We're trying to figure out what the rundown of the show looks like, but we're pretty much together from 5:30 until 1, for better or for worse. I mean, you know how this goes, guys. You spend more time with the people here than you do with your family, which you better hope you like the people you hang out with.
Right.
True. Now, speaking of Maryland, you get by on that one by the skin of your teeth. How you feeling about that? Is it just
79-77.
what was it again?
79-77.
There you go. That's
There
the
we
way
go.
to say it.
There you go.
The bigger score before the
Killed
score.
it.
Stop, you crushed that, dude.
That's right.
I want you
Yeah.
to know.
Totally redeemed himself.
We had Rick Byrd, the Belmont coach, on about 3 weeks ago. And at that point, the mocks, the brackets were set up where some people had, at that point, Maryland a 5 and Belmont a 12. And I told Coach Byrd, I said, look, I don't want any part of playing your team because I watch a ton of college basketball, and I knew Belmont was really, really good. They got a guy, Dylan Windler, who had 35 today. He was the best player on the floor. And they run great stuff, and I was terrified of playing him for exactly what today's game turned into. And Maryland was down by a ton, then they took a decent lead, then they were down by a bunch, and it was just this excruciating exercise. But at the end of it, all you want, every fan is the same, all you want right now is one more game. And so the best Maryland could have hoped for was another game. So Saturday they're going to play LSU.
You get it.
LSU's nasty, they're incredibly talented, but whatever, man, we got 40 more minutes to play on Saturday, and then when Saturday gets here, we're going to want 40 more minutes next week. But we'll deal with that then. They beat a really good team and a great coach, and I'm happy because it means I get to be here with you. Otherwise, I would have 1,000% not have been.
I like your chances.
Something happened.
LSU has
Scott said no.
I think only one guy on that team has tournament experience, and the coach with that whole drama. So
Well, they don't have it. I mean, their coach isn't there at the moment, but they're as athletic as anybody. They don't shoot it great from deep, but they're absolute savages on the glass. I mean, they pound the glass. They're big. They're really good. But again, all you wanted this morning was a game on Saturday, and you have it, and we'll see where we go.
I asked you this one random dumb question. The whole SVP. When did you decide to go initials?
It was a radio show thing because it was like it couldn't be too long, or else it would be a mouthful to say. So at first it was the Scott Van Pelt show, and I was like, well, Russillo's name should be on it because he's absolutely an equal partner in what we're doing. And so then, if we're going to make it that, then to me, and Scott Van Pelt's the same number of syllables as SVP, but I think in my mind I felt like I was shortening it, even though the more I realized it, I didn't.
Right.
So we just went SVP and Russillo, and it sort of, I don't know, that was what we decided to do. There were a bunch of people that were like, what if we call it this? And every name was a horrible suggestion.
Oh, do you remember any, please?
Out of respect for the executives that were suggesting like Slappy and the coach, it was like,
Slappy and the coach.
What are we doing, man?
Print it. Make the shirts.
Are we local drive time, man? With all due respect to the fine local drive time radio that's out there, that's not what we are. So that's where we landed, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun when we did it. We had a good time, didn't we?
I had a good time.
Yeah, and now you're a big star.
And now I am a little star, trying to become the big star that you are.
You have the right attitude, though, because you always are willing to be whatever it is. Like, dress me up in some costume, done.
That's right.
That's what you got to do.
100%. I want to give a shout out really quickly, Scott, to, let me see, it is Kevin Mara 555 saying, your fingernails are looking really lovely today.
I have good-looking fingernails?
Yeah. Have you ever gotten that compliment before?
I mean, I do think you should look after your hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get manicures, but I do think you should.
Yeah. Especially when you're on TV.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm just talking about in general. Like, don't have nasty hands. Like,
right.
I have little children, and their hands look like, I mean, it's a disgusting, disgusting thing.
How do you deal with? I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Why are your kids so sticky?
That's a great question. I don't think you want to know. It's just like what?
I feel like every minute my daughter's sticky. I'm like, I just cleaned you. Why are you sticky?
Because there's lollipops, or there's Go-Gurts, or yogurts, or popsicles. It's just and then the problem is this: they have it, and then they don't have it anymore, and you know they didn't need it. So that's when you find a popsicle like in a couch. Which is bad. You only have one?
I have one.
Get back at me when you got 3. When you're playing zone and somebody's always open. It's a cliche. Right. But it's a cliche. But everybody out there that knows.
You're outnumbered.
Well, yeah, because whoever you're not guarding is the one with the crayon that's drawing on the wall or is trying to set the dog on fire, man. It's a circus in our house. And I was tried to go down to the basement to watch by myself because I knew I would not be a treat to be around. Somehow, like, I was a jungle gym. And I'm like, I need to be by myself for at least this much time.
You're at the stage where you try to go to the bathroom in peace and they're knocking on the door.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sam doesn't respect boundaries, man. Sam, private space. Nope, he's 3. He's a
my kid's always sliding homework under the door. I just got one 9-year-old. Always sliding homework underneath the door, fingers underneath the door. Leave me alone. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad when you're like your escape is the bathroom.
That is a tough. We're at any port in a storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, wait, do Mike Martin still working with you?
He is.
He worked with us at SNY in New York.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Tell him we said hello.
I will send regards. He's part of that tight knit little group that we've got, and the fun thing about him is that he's just like ideas that kind of get bounced around the room, make it onto TV. I mean, I think that's what makes any show group, because I mean, in our case, it's just me. But I mean, I might be parroting something that Mike said earlier in the day. He is a great dude, and I will send regards. Amazing. He's on a nice trajectory. We're trying to turn him into you, but we'll see if we can get him a little stuff like this, little behind the scenes stuff, get him a little more shine. He's got his songs on Spotify or something. Seriously, he has.
Oh, hit my SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's
Spotify.
No
joke.
Give
him a shout out. Mike
He's a singer. Yeah, check out his music.
Well, Scott, thank you for stopping by, man. You said it before.
Thank you so much.
You started your day at like 5:30.
We're all good.
You're here hanging out. We really appreciate it.
That's my pleasure.
Man.
All the best to you, boys.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your pizza.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Steal a slice if you want.
No, that looked kind of sketchy.
Scott Van Pelt on our Basketball Bonanza.
8:35, which means 5 hours left.
That's it?
Yeah.
Just that's it. Oh, wow.
We're rolling.
So yeah, we got 5 more hours.
We don't have a break, Scott, so you can just take off whenever you want.
Yeah. All right, right on. I'm going to go get some shots up here.
Man.
All right, y'all.
Pop a shot. Scott Van Pelt, Basketball Bonanza.
Those are nice.
Vino, Rich, Streisky. What's up, man?
You like that strategy, right? I didn't say a word that whole time, but on my resume, I'm going to be like, yeah, I hosted this show with Scott Van Pelt.
That's what's up.
Oh, that's how you got to exaggerate.
You got tape on that? Like, no, but me and Scott,
it's
we
so
hosted the show during March Madness.
It really is just cool because we all watch him every night, right?